Anybody here member of the Silver Watercolour Society? No. So maybe in future you can join. But to join as a member, you need to do quite a lot, and then you need to submit it for judging. Okay, before they can be admitted to be a member. So possible. Okay. So you need to cover it. So see, those paint you can use, but it's not very good because it doesn't last very long. These paints will maintain the color for 120 years. Okay? And the more expensive ones will maintain for 150 years. Yeah? So this one costs about $3. This one costs about $3. This small one costs about $5. Okay, 1 tube. Okay? So they are better quality paints because they maintain the color. So if you do a good piece like things like this, they will last 120 to 150 years without any problem. They will maintain its shape. So that's why you invest in the thick fox. They are the best. Okay? So those are very nice ones. I cannot afford. But these are not bad. Yeah? Some made from squirrel hair and all that. Okay, and if you look at landscapes, you have a foreground, a mid-ground, a background. Okay, and they do different layers so that your painting has a little depth. Okay? If you want to have your painting look a bit three-dimensional, not two-dimensional, you all do animation, you know, right? You're doing on a two-dimensional piece of paper, but you want it to look a little bit three-dimensional, you must give it depth. So this painting here, I try to create a bit more depth by this road going far out into the distance and keeping the distance a bit lighter, and then the sides a bit darker so that you have the impression that there's depth. Okay, so trying to create depth and three-dimensionality is important in watercolor painting. Wet paint, wet paper. Then you can put dry paint on wet paper. And then you can do the reverse, which is what? So I can do, can you see? Yeah. Dry on wet. Then I can do wet on wet. What else can I do? Wet on dry. And then dry on dry. Okay. So I will use the exact same paint and show you the effect using the 4 different techniques. Okay? Exact same paint. So let me just wet the paper. You can see it now. Okay? I just wet the paper, put water, put a lot of water. Okay? Then when I apply dry or wet, you see that the color is very strong. Very strong, dry on wet. But if it is wet on wet, it means that I take my paint and I mix it with water. And when I do wet on wet, what you see is that it's a lot lighter effect. That's what you would expect. And then if I do dry on dry, dry on dry, you will find that the color is very strong and it doesn't cover all the paper. You leave a lot of gaps. Okay? Dry on dry. You can see the dry paint, a lot of gaps in between. Yeah? This one has a lot of wet on wet. The sky. Normally skies, people use wet on wet. Okay? And here, wet on dry. So, if you understand the technique, the same color can create different effects. Okay? Then you have the ABC of watercolor painting. Okay? Watercolor. ABC. Okay. So some people, when you ask them paint some stone, what they do is they take a bit of brown paint and then they do, this is my stone, you know, then you do something like that. That's your stone. If you do something like that, I mean that is a stone. It looks a little bit too perfect. Too perfect. Because stones are usually not so perfect, right? So you can do a stone that looks like that, but usually a stone doesn't look like that because there are shades and there are shadows and there are imperfections. So when you paint, you must look for all these things. Okay? A bit hard to see, a bit hard to see. Okay, I don't know whether I can zoom this. Okay? And then I take a bit of water and I get the black paint to go to the top. So it looks a little bit more like a stone. Still too perfect. Okay, so that's one thing you can do. Paint a rock. Okay, a stone. Alright? And then take a bit of water, like the magic touch of that, touch it and let it bleed in. And then it looks a little bit like a stone, right? Then brush a bit of water to make it a bit small. So, yeah, create a stone that way. So, what do you think? Okay, brush, which one you prefer? Yeah, I just show you two, right? Two different ways to do it, right? So paint one here, then everybody can see. Okay, brown here, the browns are here, the yellows are here. Okay. The idea is don't be too careful. Put more paint, put more paint. It seems easy, actually not so easy. If you have well practiced, good experience, not so bad. Okay, not so bad. Don't use, but cannot be all same color, right? So use a bit of water.